everybody. Today we're going to talk about the power of beliefs and the contracts that we make with ourselves, and we actually sign them, which project out to other people how to treat me. So if there is somebody in your life that you're not quite sure you are enjoying the results of that relationship, it's because we have secret contracts. Today, we are going to build powerful belief bubbles so that we can have more power and feel empowered around the choices and agency we have to shift energy in a room, to build self-esteem and confidence and self-trust, to feel more comfortable with myself in any situation without saying a word. Because when we build a belief bubble around us, it speaks for itself. I love this phrase, the truth stands by itself. I don't need to argue it. I don't need to fight. I don't have to defend, because the truth is the truth no matter what. And what's important here when we're talking about a belief and the power of belief is that I know what's true for me. And I have to work on what that belief is and my perception, because it's so easy. All of us have had experience with the internet. We've had experience with relationships. We've all had a childhood. We've all had teachers who have said good, positive things and negative things that have brought us down. That all affects our beliefs and the way I perceive the world, either happening for me or to me. So we're going to talk a lot about beliefs and contracts that I have signed as a way to perceive and experience life. And the whole point of this is to cultivate a grounded sense of purpose and identity. And the most important person to know what that means is you. We get to identify and choose our purpose. And because of experience and childhood and things that have distracted us and pulled us away from who we truly are, to survive, to cope, we have come up with a contract that we signed. And that is the natural way for the subconscious to protect us. The subconscious job is to protect us, and it thinks by being afraid and keeping us the same and playing small, it believes it's protecting us by doing that. And I think we can all agree that by playing small and by hiding actually doesn't protect us. It ends up causing damage to our self-esteem by playing small, by hiding, by isolating. So we're going to uncover where that began from. So the first point I want to make, number one, is that energy is like electrons. There's an average, they interact. So my belief bubble interacts with other belief bubbles. And when I walk into a room, there's lots of different levels of thought patterns and belief bubbles. And some of them are positive belief bubbles and some of them are negative. So inside of us, if we have more negativity and more negative beliefs about ourselves, that bubble is a certain size and it's negative, right? Where when we have outweighed the negative with the positive, we have a bubble and it's positive. It doesn't matter if I have a positive bubble and you have a negative, or vice versa, whoever has the bigger bubble wins. So we're going to go through some examples, and I just want you to visualize different bubbles of self-esteem. And they're going to have negative or positive, because there's a lot of self talk that's negative, and there's self-talk that's positive. And this is where we're going with beliefs and contracts, things that bind me to results. And we get that again from our childhood, from adults, and that inner child inside of all of us has made contracts to help us cope and survive. And now as adults, we get to use our agency to choose if that's the way we want to still look and perceive the world. So the strongest belief in a room sets the energy. So there's an emotional undercurrent, positive or negative, it's there. And the interesting thing is that, have you ever walked into a room and it's like you just get like a feeling? Your central nervous system is created for this, and it is always giving you signals. Now, you could be picking up on the other energy in the room. You could be having a trigger from a past experience and it feel similar. And so your central nervous system is giving you signals. That's why you actually have power anywhere you go, at any time. You have power of influence without saying a word. So, number 2, the second point I want to make is that there are layers of conditioning from childhood, from society, from experience, and we want to understand and become aware at those layers of conditioning and where the contract was first found, signed, delivered. These contracts I'm talking about are beliefs that we've picked up in childhood to survive and cope. And because we survived and we lived through it, our brain thinks it's still working. Number 3, emotions are signals. We are not our emotions. The emotions have a message. So when my central nervous system gives me a signal, a message that I'm stressed, the fight, flight, freeze, when that hormone is activated, when I'm feeling anxious, the central nervous system is giving me a signal. And the best thing that we can do in that moment is to ask what it needs. The messenger and the signal has 2 things. It is helping us be aware. It's signaling to us there is a piece of information it wants us to know. When I walk into a room and I feel a darkness or an ickiness or tenseness, anxiousness, that is a signal. It's a warning. Just the same way that we read signs on the road. It's a sign. It's a signal. It's a warning. It has a message. And so, getting curious when I can become aware that something just shifted. Being aware of what is it? What is that? Is that negative or positive? Is it anxiety? Is it happiness? Like, what is actually the feeling, the emotion? And then what is that emotion or feeling signaling to me? What is the message? And the two questions I always have is, what are you trying to tell me? And what do you need? So when we feel angry, it is giving us a message. There's something that was said, there's something that's happening that is not okay with me. It could be that simple. The message is, I'm not okay with that. And when I feel angry, it's like, I'm not okay with that. And then what does your anger need? So it's giving us a piece of information, and usually anger is energy that needs to be moved, right? You need to go for a walk. You need to scream and yell and punch the air. Obviously, we do not want to use anger to hurt somebody else. Most of us have found out that doesn't actually solve anything. So anger has a tightness and a energy that needs to be moved. It has excess energy that needs to be released and exposed. And so by yelling, by walking, by punching the air, these are ways to move anger, to release it, because it's excess energy. So even, when you're calling somebody and venting and, getting it all out is one way to release anger. But there's always a message with whatever feeling is coming up. So it doesn't mean I'm an angry person. It doesn't mean I'm pessimistic. Our feelings are not an identity. They are signals. So when we're looking at this belief bubble, so we can clarify, what is the contract I have signed that causes me to be triggered when life shows up or somebody says something to me and I get this reaction. So this is a way to uncover these contracts that we have probably learned a long time ago. It is that survival instinct and coping mechanism. So I just want you to ask yourself, like, how big do I think this belief bubble is? By answering some questions. So some of you have gotten a list of 20 negative beliefs, and I want you to just kind of go through that list of 20 and kind of mark which one feels like shows up in our beliefs, in our transactions during the day, when we exchange words back and forth, right? So then we want to look at positive statements, right? So we want to make a list of at least 20 positive statements and decide, what positive statements can I come up with about myself? What things feel true about who I am and my interactions during the day? And basically, from looking at a list of negative beliefs versus positive beliefs, we're taking those numbers, and it basically comes down to my net belief about myself is my positive belief number minus my negative belief number. Now, I have made a lot of progress in my life. I know that probably 15 years ago, um, it was hard to talk about positive things about myself. So I think my positive belief bubble was smaller. Maybe let's just give it a number of 5, right? And I probably had more like 10 negative beliefs. That means that I'm negative. I'm in the negative because the negative belief puts me down to 0, and then in the minus, in the deficit, right? So I have to work hard at building this belief bubble. We want to look at the negative beliefs first, because I need to know what I'm up against. I need to know how negative my belief bubble is, so I know how hard I have to work and how many more statements and affirmations and positivity I need to break even and then start building something in the other direction. So it's always important to meet myself where I am. I need to know what I'm up against. So we're going to go over 5 steps. 5 steps of creating a new contract. So the first, and I'm going to use my top 2 are I'm too much and I'm not enough. Actually, I'm going to do number 3, my top 3. Okay. Number 3 is I'm invisible unless I perform. These are deep rooted negative beliefs about myself that I accumulated a long time ago. I mean, first from my parents, and to survive and cope and make it, I signed a contract with myself to cope and survive because I needed to belong and I needed to fit in. So I came up with a contract. And I have done a lot of affirmations. I've done a lot of tools to change. But until I actually acknowledged that that I have this contract that I've made with myself that is so familiar that anytime there is tension or exchange of words, somehow I hold up the contract that I signed and I give people permission to treat me that way. And I treat myself that way. I'm the one who signed it. So I tell people when I'm the one that has signed it, that means I'm the one that can rip it up and make a choice and use my agency, that I don't have to have that contract anymore. So let's just focus on the contract, I am not enough. So I love the visual of actually writing it on a big piece of paper, right? And I encourage you right now to just write, I am not enough, and ask yourself, what parent or what adult figure or teacher, where did you learn that? When's the first time you remember signing that contract? And so what I did here is I just put on a piece of paper, I am not enough. This is my contract, and I signed it. So here it is. I am not enough, and my signature. So when I look at this paper, what happens is I get to notice throughout my day that when even just waking up in the morning, one of my first thoughts when I wake up in the morning is all the things that I want to achieve and accomplish and finish and do. And there's a belief in there that feels overwhelmed. As soon as I wake, I'm like, it's going to be a long day. And I suspect that this contract, I am not enough, that I learned a long time ago, is in play. So the first step is when I notice a negative belief or thought, that I name the contract behind it. So step one is to name the contract. So if I get an emotion that's giving me a message, that it's signaling me something's a little off, something's not okay. And what does it need? What is the contract? What is the belief behind that is keeping me from being happy, joyous, and free? So this one comes up a lot for me. I am not enough. And so the first thing that I need to do is acknowledge and name the contract. Oh, there it is again. I am not enough. I see you. I see it. So step one is name the contract. Step two is calm the central nervous system. So in my AM routine, I always have several things that I am checking off as part of my routine to calm my central nervous system. So breathing, stretching, body language, body posture. So one of the things I do to calm my central nervous system is give a high five in the mirror. I do a breathing, a 4 square breath, 4 seconds in, hold it for 4 seconds, blow it out for 4 seconds, hold it out for 4 seconds. I use body language a lot. I put my hand on my heart. I put my hand on my navel, my belly button, and I breathe. I connect. Another way to calm your central nervous system is put your palm on the base of your skull and your other hand on your sacrum, where your tailbone is, and breathe. So I'm using two things. I'm using my body language, and I'm also using breath to calm my central nervous system. Tapping is a great way to do that. Writing is a great way to do that. Prayer, meditation. Find what works for you. It does not have to be a long time. I know that as part of my AM routine, I need to get calm. I need to get still. I need to slow down and check in and practice calming my central nervous system, because then my brain works better. That's the whole reason why I do it. I need my brain to be in the front part of my head, not the back, not in the brainstem, the front, so that I can move. That's the place that we do new behavior. That's the place that we are creative, that we can problem solve, that we can change. So that's the whole point of finding ways to calm our central nervous system. Number 3 is going to be to build trust with myself. So having confidence is not about a personality trait. It is a relationship. Having confidence is a relationship with myself. And the beautiful thing about confidence is that it is a skill. I can learn about it, I can practice it, I can make progress and even master this relationship with self. Because the truth doesn't have to be defended. So building this trust, this confidence, this relationship with self is how we're going to rip up this contract. Okay? So how do we do that? Well, I need to replace what I think other people believe about me, and I need to start creating what I want to think about me, what I want to believe, what I want to be. So number 4 is replacing this negative belief contract with a new one. So who do I want to be? This is where we've talked about if I haven't built up that positive belief bubble, this is where I get to. I get to make a list of all the things, and I'm going to read you some of mine. And I call it my rock star list. Now, I'm trying to have better language. So basically, I want to use a list that is who I am, who I want to be, what does it look like to be a complete rock star, right? What am I fabulous at? And we are cultivating a new contract, a new belief system. So it's okay if you don't think or you don't believe all these things. I'm going to give you the list of the negative and the positive beliefs. And right now, we want to focus on, it's so important about what you really do believe, who you really want to be. Because I need something powerful to rip this contract up. So some of these positive beliefs are, I can handle hard things. So when I notice I am not enough, I have to build another neural pathway in my mind so that the belief is bigger that I do hard things. And my perception, when I think of bullying and watching my little boy grow up into an adult now, how in school he would get bullied, right? And so I read a lot of bullying books and it's like, how do I help him stand up for himself? And I heard, sometimes when someone says something like, that's not good enough, there's truth to it, right? So when there's truth to something, what can I say? There is truth to I'm not enough. There's plenty of things I'm not enough. And so what? It's okay not to be enough, but my mind has used that to beat myself up and feel worthless, ashamed, lonely, isolated. That contract has made me, the way I perceive it is I'm worthless, that I'm a failure, that no one likes me, that I'm alone, and it creates a lonely feeling. And yet all I need to do is take a look at another perception and response. So when people are bullying, whether if it's true, you can say, so. And it always helped me when a long time ago, my therapist would say, bullying is like, someone saying, Melanie, you have brown hair. So it's not true, right? So I would say, whatever. I know I have blonde hair. I don't need to fight someone saying I have brown hair. And if someone's like, Melanie, you have blonde hair. So? Yeah. So? It comes to a point. It doesn't matter if someone says I have blonde hair with a tone that sounds to me like they hate me because I have blonde hair, or they hate me because and call me that I have brown hair. It doesn't matter. I'm building, it's either so or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the way I perceive in my mind who I am. And when I know who I am, it doesn't matter if they say I have blonde hair or brown hair, because I know who I am. So we're creating a list that can help me rip this contract up, so I don't have to defend to somebody else. I know who I am and I'm okay with it. We're building contracts that say I'm okay with who I am becoming, and who I want to be. And it doesn't matter what other people think. That's none of my business, right? There's two forms of business, my business and none of my business. So here's some positive beliefs. I can do hard things. I'm worthy of love and belonging. My voice matters. I'm learning, not failing. I trust my gut. I don't need to be perfect to be good. I am safe to be seen. That's a good one. I'm allowed to take up space. I am lovable even when I rest. That's a good one. I deserve joy. I have the power to choose. I am enough. And then look for evidence of where I truly believe I am enough. So I made a list of I am a rock star at. I am a rock star at being a mom, a wife, a daughter, a sister, a friend. I'm a rock star at living a life of consultation. I'm a rock star at being a prayer warrior. I am a rock star at receiving personal revelation. I'm a rock star at receiving grace and forgiveness. I'm a rock star at remembering why I am here. I am a rock star at saving, loving, comforting, caring, and choosing me. I'm a rock star at developing a connection with God and being still and slowing down to hear Him. I'm a rock star at happy, joyous, and free, at enjoying nature, at emotional hygiene, at traveling and dancing. I'm a rock star at problem solving, pivoting, seeing the good in conflict. I'm a rock star at knowing my truth. I'm a rock star at being love, being loved, and being lovable. Those are a couple. So when I notice that when I wake up and I feel overwhelmed and I can clearly see, there it is again, my contract, that I'm not enough, I get to choose a new contract by saying these things. And so by writing this contract out and signing it, and then looking at where it shows up in your life. And what we're going to do is that when I see this contract, I get to say, I am a rock star at being enough. And let me show you the way there is evidence that I am enough. It's because I am enough because I'm a rock star at receiving grace. I'm a rock star at living a life of consultation. I'm a rock star at receiving personal revelation. I'm a rock star at meditation and prayer. I'm a rock star at emotional hygiene and calming my central nervous system. When I can see this negative contract and I have the words and the belief, I can rip this up. I can rip it up. And sometimes I have to practice ripping up the contract every morning until it's not there anymore, until it's ripped for good. But I get to keep choosing to rip up that negative belief contract that I signed. I am the only one that can rip that contract up. I'm the one who put it there. So whenever I feel like a victim, like somebody has treated me wrong or made me feel like I wasn't enough, I get to remind myself that contract I can rip up because I ended up signing it. If someone has given me a contract and I signed it, I signed it. They don't have power to tell me I'm not enough. If it feels like that, it's because I have let them have my power. I've given it away. So today we're just focusing on how do I rip up these negative contracts of belief that no longer serve me. So I really liked writing it out and then deciding what I need to know about me to rip that contract up. And I want you to practice and do it. I want you to practice what the negative belief contract is and then speak to that contract until you are literally ready to rip it up. You have the power to destroy that contract. It is yours. You're the one that signed it. You're the one that can rip it up. And I want to empower you and inspire you and encourage you that you have choices and agency to build contracts with yourself so that your relationship with yourself is stronger and bigger than anybody. And when you walk into a room without even saying a word, your energy speaks for itself without saying a word. And that's the kind of contract I want to build. I can't wait to hear I will put the positive and negative beliefs in the chat, and I want you to mark up. I want you to pick the ones that you are seeing in your life and give yourself a number so that you are tracking where you are right now. Your negative belief, your net belief equals the positive belief minus the negative beliefs. And this is just a good starting point of like where I am, and then writing out these contracts and ripping them up. Until next time, enjoy. Enjoy your life and your positive belief contract.